Follow all Moessieurs news on his website, www.moessieurs.com, and on his Facebook page.
Hello and welcome on Moessieurs for this new video dedicated to Camelot Pro. I will show you some things today about editing synth sounds. So example I'm going to show you today is because I know it's work well. It's with my MODX. Not all keyboards, not all synthesizer, not all stage keyboard can go so far. And what I'm going to show you depends on how Midi is managed inside your keyboards. It works very fine on MODX and on Montage. It might work on other synths, especially if part levels are managed with control change and not synth. As example, I know that my YC61 I cannot do all can I do with my MODX. Same for the CP because they are mono MIDI channel. So it will depend on the brand and on the model you have. But if you have the possibility, you will see what and how that can you go quite far and see interesting things to do with a little bit, just a little bit of song editing inside Camelot Pro. But do not forget, before to start, if you like the video, do not forget to click on the thumb. If you are not yet a Moessieux follower, click on subscribe and then click on bell to be informed when I release a new Moessieux video. So let's go to my concrete case view today with a performance. It's called Seattle Sections. This one is very much appreciated by my Yamaha TikTok live friend Blake Angelo. Little hello, little wink to my friend Blake. And to make you listen it, the best is to press the audition button. It will play much better than me. Here I'm not going to play all the whole demo, it's too long, and we are not here to make a demo, but to explain things on Camelot Pro. So on this performance, we have a lot of parts, so obviously in other language for other brand sounds. This is a performance that emulates a big orchestra. Each part are emulated, and of course, the first way to manage the volume is to use my synth sliders and manage volume like that. That's a way to do. But in my case, I can also do it in Camelot Pro. I use the expand icon here, and you see that there was a little message. I'm refreshing, and now Camelot Pro has saved my synth data, part volume, and names. On the left, we have the expression, the control change 11, and on the right, we have the volume, control change 7. Just take a look on my HD PVR capture screen. You will see what I'm managing. Remember, there is 1 second delay for the capture screen due to the hardware memory buffer. And yes, no, part control, part volume is under Camelot Pro control. But you think, if anytime I am wrong on part 1, I touch my physical volume slider, how does it work with Camelot Pro? It doesn't move. So do not worry, it's not complicated. Just do a little refresh and there you go. You got the volume back. So you can manage the volume of all your sounds like that if your keyboard or rack allow it. And this is the first interesting thing I want to show you today, because if we have what we call a preset, a factory sound that you cannot delete, overwrite, and you want to use it for a song, but you have only some adjustment to do on some parts volume, generally you think you need to create a user performance to do this, but no, with Camelot Pro, you do not need. Volume that I have adjusted are saved into Camelot, And when I'm going to call another time this performance with Camelot, those volumes are recalled. So you don't need just for some volume management, as example, to save your prog, your voice, your combination, your setup, anyway it's called on your synth. It's directly managed by Camelot Pro. Great, isn't it? I'm going to click now on this view to take another example of performance to show you something a little bit now to John Melas for this one, because we talk and exchange about this sound together for a sound design to a cover song from Michael Jackson. JP string. So here it's something simpler. You can see it on the screen. So I have only one sound. It's what we call a single part performance. What I can do with this preset sound, obviously, of course, I can manage its volume, but like it's a single part, I can manage it simply with Camelot item level, of course, too. But if I click again on expand icon, I have access to the pure volume. That's the volume you see, the CC7. And I also have access to several control change. And this is very interesting, which means that in addition of managing the volume, if you want to manage the cutoff, for example, just change the cutoff for a song. No need to save it as a user if it's a preset. You can manage several other control change. I can manage resonance too. And then you have various other control change. They are not fixed. You can even change them to control what you want as you need. Just click here, here, and click here, and you can choose another control change of your choice to assign. I have perhaps put too much resonance. I will lower it a little bit. Anyway, that's very practical too, and it will be saved in Camelot, and Camelot will send control change data of cutoff and resonance each time I recall this item. It's another way to do not take a place in your synth memory for minor adjustments. So it's super interesting if you are able to work like this with your synth. Do it, of course. I'm going to come back here, and if you click on this view, you can also have the panning of the performance as example. And as song editing, perhaps you think also you can manage your sound split inside the same performance combination setup, live set prog as you want. Yes, it can, but in some case, you will see that it's not always the best way to use Camelot for editing inside the same item, because we are in the same item. Remember this, of course, with several items. You can manage very easily with Camelot, but inside an item, it's not always the best way. Perhaps you want to do all the things in Camelot Pro. Okay, I say to you before to be consistent. Yes, but I will show you how it's work, and you will choose if you can use this or not. To my test, depend of the case. In this example, I'm going to add another sound to my performance. Oops, there are only multiparts here in this view. I need to switch to single part performance. Okay, let's take this sound. First, I need to create another layer that I will call thru, like Midi thru. Then it's done. I had a preprocessor, add a Midi thru, select to connect it to my MODX. Okay. I need a second one also to manage my second part, and you will see why. But in this case, you need to put Midi thru for each part. It's done. So let's go to the advanced settings. I do not change my screen cam because I need this view just a little bit later. But trust me, in MIDI transformer, I check that MIDI channel 1 input is linked to MIDI channel 1 output. That's the basic case, but I check. And like I have two parts, for this one, I unactivate channel 2. I'm going to do near the same thing for my second MIDI through. This time I'll activate MIDI channel 1 and be sure channel 2 is set for in and out. I'm going to set my MODX layer without MIDI input. And I put it on the MIDI through layer. As you see, Camelot is very flexible and there is several ways to proceed. So I try to show you one convenient way. Let's go to keyboard view. The top one MODX, I have to keep it all because I want to play the whole physical MODX physical keyboard. And for MIDI through keyboard layer, I can expand it too. So I need to expand it to see my two MIDI through preprocessors. And I did that, but I have shown you a thing I shouldn't do. You need to name your MIDI through to know who is who. So let's come back on layer view and naming them. First one, part 1, I will call it strings. And for part 2, let's call it ensemble. Now let's come back to keyboard view. I expand on the through layer and you see now I have the management of each part string and FM bells inside my MODX performance. This is only on one item inside the item. So I can do split easily. I'll put it at the bottom. So the I not with MIDI learning, I need to choose. And I need to choose the lower note for the second part. That's it. You see, I manage my split directly from Camelot Pro, but you see you have to set up the MIDI through to manage inside one item. If I have 7 parts, like on Seattle section, so to my taste, it can be better to do it directly on my synth to do the split, because I need to also to manage all the MIDI through for each part. So 7 MIDI through, 7, I would say like this, sorry. So it's not, it can be very long. So depend of the case, I explained to you, perhaps for 2, you can do it if you want to do it in Camelot, but in general way, more than 2, it's better to do it directly on your synth. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, there have to be different MIDI resave channel for each part of this performance. Because if I didn't have this, I couldn't do that, manage each part volume. As example, if you set several sounds on the same MIDI channel, the one, if I move a slider 1 to control the volume, I will control the volume of the 4th part to the same value on the same time. So you could not have independent volume management. And you couldn't manage it like with Camelot Pro, like I have shown you now. One thing I can tell you, I never go back to the old way to manage several sounds, just put it the same MIDI channel on them. Since I switched to the Montage in 2016 with separate MIDI channel management, I won't change anymore. I hope you have found this video interesting, you have liked it, and you see there are many things and ways to work with Camelot Pro. No, it's at your choice to use the way you want to work. Remember, with audio modeling, we provide a group masterclass in French. I manage this. With Gerald Peter, you have in German and in English. And with Fabio Notti, you have in Italian. So in case you need, see the announcement on the Camelot Pro Freestyle Facebook page to see when we start a new course. In any way, if you want a private masterclass with me, I can do it in French and in English. You can ask me too. See you soon for one other Camelot Pro video. Bye.
Join Camelot Pro community. Follow our Camelot Pro online sessions, organized by audio modeling, available in English, French, German, and Italian.
Sessions are conducted in groups, online through Zoom. Make Camelot Pro your ideal and essential stage partner.
E-learning online English courses are led by Gerald Peter.
Les masterclass en ligne et en français sont animés par Joël Borg.
E-Learning Online Deutschkurse werden geleitet von Gerald Peter.
Online e-learning corsi italiano sono tenuti con Fabio Nuti.